In this video, I'm going to walk you through an email sequencing agent that we built. Essentially, it works and integrates with the Monday.com CRM and the sequencing feature of the CRM, but it adds a whole new level. It's essentially an AI agent that sits on top of these different tools. And the reason is because my client wanted to have the agent follow certain prompts for all of the emails, automatically create the emails, as well as search the web and pull relevant data about potential leads. So let's jump in and I'll show you exactly how it was set up. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Tara. I'm the founder of a company called Simpleday. We're Monday.com Platinum Partners. Over the last 4 years, we've helped hundreds of companies use Monday.com, whether it be for a custom implementation or training on how to use the system or general consultation and guidance, we can help you. Feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description below, and I can't wait to meet you. Before we jump in and I show you exactly how Emily, our email sequencing agent, works, I want to explain a little bit more about the pain points that my client was having. So as I mentioned, this is working on their leads board, and they're basically connecting with new potential leads. So these are cold leads that they don't know. They've never contacted them, so they don't have any kind of relationship with them. So the first thing that was really important to them was to be able to search the internet and see if there was any latest news on these people. Like maybe someone was going to an upcoming conference or something new or big happened in their company that they would want to reference within the email. So the first thing that we needed to do was pull this information into the email. The second thing that the client wanted to do is they wanted to have specific prompts to help write their emails. But they didn't only want to use Monday sequences because they didn't want it to always be the same email. They wanted, because sometimes they would update their prompts. So they wanted a system in which they could update their prompts and then really share statistics about which prompt looked better. The second thing that my client wanted to be able to do was to use prompts in order to write the emails that would be sent out to these potential clients. They wanted to have the ability to edit these prompts and compare results if one prompt worked better than another prompt. The next thing that they wanted to do is to have all of these emails automatically created within a draft for them. So that way they wouldn't have to be copying and pasting, anything like that. They would want a draft to automatically be created for them so that way they can read it and then send it out. The last thing that they wanted is they wanted to easily be able to see within their CRM who needed a follow-up email. So let's jump in and I'll show you exactly how this works. Here you can see I'm on the client's leads board and I've listed myself as a lead. However, I don't have any email information here in terms of what these emails should include. Now, again, these emails are being sent out from sequences, but there's no data here. And that's because the trigger is assigning an owner. So as soon as I assign an owner, what's going to happen is all of these fields are going to automatically be filled out by Emily, our email sequencer. Now, what Emily does is, first of all, she scans the web to find any relevant information about this person, but she also pulls from our prompting board. So if you look at this board over here, we have an email sequence agent config board. And essentially this is like a configuration board that tells Emily where to find the latest prompt. And you can see here that we have all of the different information that we want. Here's the master prompt. Here's the email sequencing instructions. Here's things not to say. Then there's other things to say. And we also have a prompt ID. Now, giving us a prompt ID allows us to pull in statistics and charts and graphs about how well the prompts are working. But let's go back to our leads board. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to assign an owner to this lead, and you're going to see that everything's going to automatically be filled in within this board. Now, we have to give it a minute to run, and you're going to see that it's going to fill in this information. See, it already changed the status to ready for drafting, and here drafting, and you're going to see that it's going to start to pull in, again, based on information on the web and based on the prompts that we created. Here you can see that all of my email sequences have automatically been drafted. And just if I scroll through all of these columns, you can see that they're all have information in them. There is a column for an error. So in case there's an error, it will show up in this column, like telling us that there's an error. So the question is, how is this set up? What we've used is we actually used Monday's native sequencing feature to set up these sequences. But the way that it works is that as soon as a person is assigned, it pushes it into the sequence within Monday, but it creates manual drafts. So nothing's automatically being sent. So let's jump over the sequences and I'll show that to you. Here you can see that I'm in the sequencing section within Monday and I have this active sequence. If I open this, you can see that there's 3 manual emails, which is exactly what the client wanted. They wanted manual emails to be created when it's time for them to go out because they didn't want them to automatically go out. So let's just look at some of the rules and notifications. So here you can see that you have certain days and times when it should go out and when it shouldn't. And this is really important for testing this because it could be that you're testing it at a time when email should not go out. So it won't automatically create the draft of the manual email. Here you can see I have some interaction rules and some removal rules, like if an email bounced, but most importantly, if a lead replied, then it changes the status to lead replied. And then over here, you can see that I'll have all my enrollments. I'm not going to share this with you, but you can see I have all my enrollments. But essentially what we did is we set up 3 emails that are manual emails. They're pulling the data from the board, which was created using those prompts, and they're pushing them to emails and activities as a manual email. Let's jump back to the emails and activities. And as you can see here, I've opened it. I don't have an email here. The only reason that I don't have it is because at the time of this recording, it's not their standard business hours. So it's not showing up here. But if it was their standard business hours, basically I would have a manual email here. And then what all my client would need to do is they would need to send it out. And that's it. I just want to take a minute to summarize the flow that we had within the CRM. Essentially what happens is a lead comes in to the leads board. As soon as an item is assigned an owner, it automatically pulls the prompt from that config board. And part of that prompt is checking the news. Okay. Then it writes those emails and then it pulls those emails into the sequence. And the sequence automatically sets up those manual emails on certain dates, like a certain date apart from each other. So all those manual emails are ready. Every time there's a new manual email that shows up, my client sees that there's a manual email and then they can send it out to their client. Thanks for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and remember to subscribe to receive tips and tricks on how to use Monday.com. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you soon.